The predatory pantomime? Deconstructing the tax season ads that should not exist in a free society. From a historical sociologist and forensic investigator's perspective. Prologue. The confession of the envelope. It arrives in a crimson envelope. Not red for love, but red for danger. The text screams. Do not ignore. Tax deadline approaching. Penalties, interest, seizure. You feel it, don't you? That microspasm in your chest. The sudden calculation of what you earned versus what you get to keep. Now, cut to a commercial break. A cheerful animated robot tells you, refund, faster. A man in a cheap suit grins. We beat the IRS for you. Another ad whispers like a lover. Peace of mind. Only $199. What if I told you these ads, the cheerful and the terrifying, aren't services? They are symptoms. Symptoms of a political illness so deep, the founding fathers would have reached for their flintlocks. Welcome to the autopsy of a lie. We will not discuss tax preparation. We will dissect the sociology of fear, the history of confiscation, and the investigation into why a free society needs 7.4 billion hours of paperwork to return your own money. Let us begin. The historical abomination from Boston Harbor to the 1040 EZ. The thesis? Taxation is not the villain. Involuntary, complex, opaque taxation on labor collected by a private banking cartel is the villain. In 1765, the British Parliament passed the Stamp Act. Colonists didn't revolt because of the amount, 1 penny per document. They revolted because of representation and consent. The rallying cry was no taxation without representation. Fast forward to 1913. Two events occur in the same year. The Federal Reserve Act, December 23, creates a private central bank. The 16th Amendment, ratified February 3, allows Congress to levy an income tax without apportioning it among the states. The investigators note. Most citizens believe the IRS is a government agency collecting taxes for the government. False. The Federal Reserve is a consortium of private banks. The IRS collects your labor's fruit, converts it to dollars, and those dollars are debt instruments issued by the Fed. You are paying tribute to a private bank for the privilege of using its currency. Stop. Read that again. You work 40 hours. The first 10 to 15 hours? You are working for JP Morgan and the London gold markets. The ads don't tell you that, do they? The cheerful ads say, maximize your refund. But a refund is an interest-free loan you gave the government. In a truly free society, you would write a check for your exact defense and road maintenance, transparent, local, consented. Instead, we have a Super Bowl of compliance. The ads that should not exist. Number 1. The peace of mind ad. The script? A calm family. A soft-voiced CPA. Let us handle the stress so you can enjoy life. The analysis? This ad assumes stress is natural. It assumes that a free citizen should be grateful to pay a ransom to avoid a SWAT team. This ad should not exist because in a free society, the relationship between the individual and the state is one of vendor and customer, not subject and sovereign. Question? If you were born in 1775, would you have called the Stamp Act a tax season headache, or would you have called it tyranny? Why do you call the same mechanics different logo by a gentler name today? The sociology of manufactured terror. Why the ads work. The observation. Fear is the oldest currency. Before money, there was cortisol. The IRS does not audit 100% of people. Yet, the perception of the audit is universal. This is socialized terror. Sociologist Emil Durkheim spoke of anomia normlessness that breeds anxiety. The tax code is the perfect anomie machine. It is 6,871 pages. No human can understand it. Therefore, everyone is guilty of an error. The state does not need to punish you. It only needs you to believe you could be punished. Imagine a game of Monopoly where you don't know the rules, the banker prints his own money, and the jail square has real handcuffs. That is April 15th. The ads that should not exist. Number 2. The second look ad, the scary one. The script? Black and white footage. A man in an interrogation room. Voiceover. He thought his taxes were done. He was wrong. Don't be him. The sociological autopsy? This is state-sponsored sadism outsourced to capitalism. The government creates a labyrinth so complex that failure is inevitable. Then, private companies, TurboTax, H&R Block, pay millions to broadcast your potential humiliation. It is a symbiosis. 1. The state writes confusing laws. 2. Citizen panics. 3. Corporation sells protection. 4. Lobbyist ensures laws stay confusing. This is not a market. This is a protection racket. In a free society, if the law is incomprehensible to the average person, the law is void. These ads exploit a broken social contract. The data. Americans spend 6.5 billion hours and $200 billion annually on tax compliance. That is the labor equivalent of 3 million people working full-time, all year, just to ask permission to keep what they already own. Question. When you see a get out of IRS trouble ad, ask yourself. Who benefits more from the complexity, the IRS, the tax prep companies, or you? And why is your answer never me? The forensic accounting of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Declaration's promise. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. The current reality. Your consent is presumed unless you file a 1040X form. That is coercion. The investigation, the Federal Reserve link. Let me walk you through the money trail. You build a chair. You sell it for $100. You pay $25 in income tax, $7.65 in FICA, Social Security, Medicare, and $5 in state tax. You keep $62.35. Where did the $100 come from? The Federal Reserve created it out of thin air, lent it to the Treasury at interest. That interest is never created. So there is always less money than debt. To pay the interest, you must borrow more. This is exponential slavery. The ads say get your refund. They never say, we will fight the private bankers who charge interest on the very air you breathe. Why? Because those bankers own the ad space. The ads that should not exist. Number 3. The refund anticipation loan ad. The script? Dancing money. Get your money now. Don't wait for the IRS. The forensic breakdown. This is the most obscene ad in existence. You have overpaid the government. The government holds your money for months. You need it. So a bank offers to lend you your own money at 36% APR. This ad should not exist because it normalizes usury on a timing mismatch. In a free society, if the state takes too much, it pays you interest. In our society, you pay interest to get your own property back. The pursuit of happiness. Jefferson did not mean pleasure. He meant eudaimonia, the flourishing of one's potential. Can you flourish when 40% of your potential is diverted to a military-industrial complex, funded by the Fed, and a debt service payment to the same Fed? No. You are a sharecropper on your own life. Question? If pursuit of happiness requires economic sovereignty, how can you pursue anything when your labor's fruit is harvested before you even see the harvest? Is that pursuit, or is that peonage? The ads that must be banned, a manifesto for the free citizen. We have danced around it. Let us name the perpetrators. I am not speaking metaphorically. There are specific advertising campaigns running right now, 2025 to 2026 tax season, that are propaganda for servitude. 1. The free filing mirage, Intuit TurboTax. The hook? Free, simple, guaranteed. The reality? They spend millions lobbying against a government-run free filing system. They want you scared. They want you confused. They have admitted to using dark patterns to trick you into paying for free services. Why it shouldn't exist? In a free society, a company that makes money from your confusion is a parasite. The ad is a lie wrapped in a flag of convenience. 2. The IRS agent knock ad, various Legal Shield clones. The hook? The IRS is coming. Do you have representation? The reality? The probability of a random audit is under 0.5%. But the ad induces a trauma response. It weaponizes PTSD from the 2008 foreclosures. Why it shouldn't exist? This is terrorism for profit. It should be illegal to use the state's power to threaten citizens in a commercial broadcast. 3. The child tax credit celebration ad. The hook. The government gave you $2,000 per child. Spend it. The reality. That $2,000 came from your future labor. It is not a gift. It is a redistribution of your own productivity, with a bureaucratic ribbon on top. Why it shouldn't exist? This ad teaches learned helplessness. It frames a citizen as a dependent of the state, not as a sovereign who pays for services. A sovereign does not thank the king for giving back a portion of the king's stolen grain. Look around your room. Every object. Every light bulb. Every bite on your screen. You paid for it 3 times. Once with labor. Once with tax. Once with inflation, the hidden tax the Fed prints. The ads celebrate the second theft. The sociological resistance why we tolerate the intolerable. The question of the ages. If the system is this broken, why is there no revolution? Why do we watch the ads and nod? Answer. The diffusion of responsibility and the hedonic treadmill. Sociologist Stanley Milgram taught us that ordinary people obey authority even when it hurts strangers. Here, the authority is the calendar, April 15, and the institution, IRS. We have internalized the oppressor. The ads exploit what I call the 3 minutes of rage cycle. Second 0 to 10. You see the ad. You get angry. Second 11 to 20. You remember you already paid. Second 21 to 30. You feel powerless. Second 31 to 60. You change the channel. Your anger is a product. They harvest it, package it, and sell it back to you as tax software. You are the cow. The ads are the bell. The historical exception. In 1999, the UK abolished the automatic tax deduction on savings interest for basic rate taxpayers. Compliance costs dropped. Fear dropped. The ads for tax recovery vanished overnight. Why? Because the state simplified. We don't have simplification because Intuit, H&R Block, and the American Institute of CPAs, ICPA, spend over $30 million a year lobbying Congress to keep the code complex. Question? If a law requires a $600 per hour specialist to understand, is it a law or a secret society's bylaw? And why do you allow a secret society to govern you? The blueprint for abolition what a free society looks like. Let me be extremely clear. I am not an anarchist. Roads, courts, and defense these require funding. But funding does not require the Federal Reserve's usury system or the IRS's confessional booth. The fair tax model, or the pre-1913 model. Abolish the income tax. Entirely. Wipe the code. Abolish the IRS. Fire the 80,000 agents. Implement a visible, transparent consumption tax, e.g., national sales tax, with a prebate to protect the poor. Or, return to the constitutional tariff and apportion tax system. Why the ads vanish in this world? No peace of mind ads, because there is no labyrinth. No refund loan ads, because the state never holds your money. No IRS interrogation ads, because there is no IRS. The Federal Reserve solution. We need an audit of the Fed. Not a performative one. A forensic audit. We need to know who owns the shares of the New York Fed, hint. The major banks. We need to end fractional reserve banking, where banks lend money they don't have, collect interest on nothing, and you pay taxes to cover the losses. The banks create money. You pay tax on that money. Then you pay interest to the banks for the money they created. Then the banks use your interest to lobby for more taxes. This is a Mobius strip of theft. The call to the historian in you. Look at Switzerland. They have a wealth tax, yes. But their tax code is 150 pages. Their citizens vote on every major expenditure. Their ads? How to pay your tax bill in 15 minutes. No fear. No robots. No loans. The food for thought the ads that scream in the void of liberty. We return to the present. It is tax season 2026. You cannot scroll YouTube without a man screaming, the IRS is hiring 87,000 new agents. You need us. You cannot listen to a podcast without a cheerful woman chirping, Get your refund up to $7,000. It's free money. These ads should not exist in the land of the free. They exist because the land is not free. It is a managed plantation. The managers are the IRS and the Federal Reserve. The foremen are the ad agencies. The whip is the 6,871-page tax code. The final investigation. The Declaration says we have the right to alter or abolish any government destructive of these ends. The income tax, collected by a private bank's proxy, the IRS, on labor, is destructive of life. It steals time, liberty, it coerces compliance, and happiness, it induces fear. Therefore, these specific ads are not just annoying. They are seditious. They normalize a violation of the social contract. The call for action. 1. Immediate individual action. Next time you see a tax relief ad, do not change the channel. Screen record it. Post it with the caption, "This ad exists because I don't own my labor." Tag your representative. 2. Political action. Demand a single-page tax return. Support the Tax Code Termination Act. If your representative votes against simplification, vote them out. Not in the next cycle. Now. Primary them. 3. Economic action. Divest from banks that run the Fed. Move to a local credit union. Buy Bitcoin or gold assets the Fed cannot print or tax easily. Starve the beast. 4. Psychological action. Stop apologizing for wanting to keep your money. You are not greedy. You are not a tax cheat. You are a human who spends 40 hours a week bleeding energy to build a life. The state is not entitled to the first fruits. You are extremely intelligently mastered food for thought. Let us sit in silence after the scream. Today, we hear from all media ads of various forms about this tax season. Some cheerful, some scary. They whisper, "Let us help you navigate the storm." But here is the poison at the bottom of the cup. If life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are unalienable rights, then the fruit of the labor that produces that life must also be unalienable. The IRS and the Federal Reserve have constructed a machine where the Fed prints the chips. The IRS takes a cut of every hand. The ads convince you that the dealer is fair. The ultimate question for your midnight hour. If you had to write a new Declaration of Independence today, would you include a clause that says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all people are born free, and that the state shall not tax the labor of a citizen without the citizen's explicit, annual, itemized consent, nor shall it lend the citizen's future labor to a private bank at interest"? If your answer is yes, then every cheerful ad about refunds is a funeral dirge for that dream. And every scary ad about audits is a threat of violence against that dream. The ads should not exist. But they do. They exist because we have forgotten that a government that must threaten you to get your money is not a government. It is a gang. The gang has billboards. The gang has jingles. The gang has a friendly chatbot. But a gang is still a gang. Go. Look at your paycheck stub today. Not the net pay. The gross pay. Subtract the net. That difference is the hole where your freedom used to be. Please tell me what you think and how you feel about this issue. Analyze it, brainstorm it, debate it, and if you like it, please share it. Thank you for watching. I truly and highly appreciate you, and God bless you.